they are packaged in agape. For God is love, and He does not receive anything that is short of that. I gave you several texts, and I gave you what Ellen White says. And actually, Ellen White says in Testimonies, Volume 3, page, I think 399, paragraph 3, that it were better for you never to give anything at all if you are giving even the offerings and the tithes, you know, with some murmuring, with some complaints. When you are not, you say, well, you elder mesukuma, pastor mesukuma sana, but then we wacha nimurumie, wacha nipeane kitu. If you are doing so, it were better. Actually, Ellen White says, those of us who are here, we do mock who? We mock God if you are doing such. For the sake of our sermon this morning and afternoon, allow me to make use of the third epistle to the Corinthians, the third letter of Corinthians. The third epistle to the Corinthian church. Chapter number 5, and we are reading verse number 14 and 15. Time may not allow for us to look at 15, but I will concentrate on verse 14. Third epistle. I mean third. I know for you, you know it's second. Just open second, but I am referring to third. What you need to know, Paul wrote the first letter, and it was never canonized. What was first disappeared. What was second became first in our Bibles, and what was reading the third epistle became second in our canonized versions or canonization during the process of canonization. It is in the first letter, he says, the letter I wrote to you, first letter and then the second letter and then the third one. So for the sake of us meeting somewhere, 2 Corinthians chapter number 5, verse number 14. And we are looking at 2 Corinthians 5:14, and we are looking at the love of Christ compelling us even when it comes to matters stewardship. The love of Christ compelling us, compels us. In that Bible, I will read several versions. The NIV, for those who have a new international version of the Bible says, for those of us who are here in the course of the week, I requested you to come with your brains, come also with your mouth. Usiache mdomo nyumbani, usiache akili nyumbani. Because you will be a disaster when you leave one of them at home, especially the brain. Let me see those of us who came with their brains and their mouths. Mdomo na akili kama ulikuja nayo. Sawa, tuende pamoja. For Christ is love compels us because we are convinced that one died for how many? For all. And therefore, all died. Now, another version, that is a Revised Standard Version, the Bible says, for the love of Christ does what? Controls us, because we are convinced that one has died for how many? For all. And therefore, all have died. I'm interested with also another version here, the TPT, the Passion Translation of the Bible, a rare version that many of us may not be having, but the Bible says, for it is the love, Christ is love, that does what? Fuels our passion and our what? And motivates us. In other words, if our singing, if our worshiping, if our tithing, if our offerings, if making use of our talents of singing is not fueled, is not motivated by the love of Christ, you are doing zero job. Paul says it is the love, Christ is love, that fuels our passion, that fuels and motivates us. Because we are absolutely convinced that He has given His life for us all. This means all died with Him. Now, there is something which is in the King James Version that I want you to look at. Having having started, nimesoma na nimefundisha wachungaji Greek language. There is a reason why I'm picking some of these versions. One version